Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And this is actually a card we've had in the not too recent past. And again, as I've said a bazillion times, when something keeps popping up, we probably need to be a little more attentive to it. So we'll go through the message and see how it's resonating for all of you. Looks like there's 3 of you here right now, although there's Gwen. Good morning, good morning. I was going to say no names are rolling yet. And Mel, good morning. Welcome, welcome. Going to let everybody start to roll in. And today's card is about intuition. So let's just breathe that in. Some nice deep belly breaths. Opening yourself up to your intuition. Good morning, Janine. Welcome. Quieting things down. Making that intuition more and more accessible with the breath. That's good. Keep going. A couple more breaths. Just being fully present right here, right now. So our card deck, you may have guessed, given that I told you what the card is about, Nature Portals, Bruce and Carol Melner, Inspiration Through the Peace and Beauty of Nature. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, good morning. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, Ruth Ann. Glad you're here. And Carolyn. Everybody's starting to roll in. It's been interesting lately. A couple of you, when you're saying your good mornings, it's like it goes into the messenger part of things rather than on here. It's very strange. I don't know what the deal is. Good morning, Beth. Welcome to my Ubers. Glad you're here. So here is our card. I love the colors in that. I think that's so pretty. And the mist. I mean, you could almost sense how quiet it was when he was taking this picture, right? I was out watering flowers this morning, and it was just still, just very still. The birds were quite happy. Good morning to everybody. Glad you're here. So let's tune into our intuition. So just breathe into your intuition. You might want to put your hand here, just tuning in, or wherever you sense your intuition. Sometimes it feels to me more like it's a gut thing. Wherever you feel it. Trust your intuition. Intuition is called by many different names. Your sixth sense, a hunch, a gut feeling, the still small voice within. No matter which term you use, intuition is your ability to understand something immediately without rational thinking. I'll have to go back and check that message. It zoomed past on me, but I'll go back and look. And I want us to just take a pause here and notice how often, right after that not rational intuition gives us something, how often we retreat into our mind, our logic, and undo that intuition. How often does that happen for you? The chatter starts, well, that's not, you're probably not thinking about that right. It's probably not a big deal, or, it writes it off in some way. So I just want us to be cognizant of that tendency to let the mind override the intuition. Not a good thing. Not a good thing, okay? Although intuition is a natural process, it takes practice to tune in to intuition's subtle cues. It's not like the 2x4 upside the head. Oftentimes it's just that little whisper, and we really do need to exercise the pause so that we're tuned in and can pick it up. When we're roaring through life like maniacs, we're not present enough to pick it up and utilize it as the gift it is. The calm stillness found in nature can help you quiet your rational mind so you may access your intuition more easily. Remember, you know more than you think you do. Good morning, Abigail. Doesn't that sound like someone we know? So here's the quote. I adore this quote. In fact, I butchered it yesterday when I was talking to a friend of mine at lunch, and I was trying to make the point to him that he was relying too heavily on that rational mind and kind of blowing off the intuitive heart soul. And there was significant value in him listening to heart and soul. Albert Einstein, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Good morning, Angie. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. So, let's do a little bit of something today to step into that intuition more. So you can warm your hands up. And I'm kind of hearing whole brain posture. So yes, poo-poo the intuition, and later you go, aha, exactly. And sometimes you go, oh crud, because you didn't listen to it, followed the logical mind, and it didn't serve you. Remember that story from Tosha Silver in Outrageous Openness, where her intuition is trying to drag her out of her seat at the airport to be the one who says, fine, I'll take the bump and get my 2 free tickets, blah, blah, blah. And she said she practically had to tie herself down with her scarf to not jump up. So some other guy jumps up, everybody applauds, he gets the 2 free tickets, and in the last minute, someone gets a phone call who's waiting for that flight that her cat had gotten out. So she gave up her seat. So he got to fly anyway, and he got to keep the 2 free tickets. So her intuition was just screaming at her to get up. She could have had 2 free plane tickets, but she didn't listen. She didn't listen because she was tired and she wanted to be home and blah, blah, blah. So sometimes when it's loud and we're resisting, if we could just take some breaths and just tune in. You may not get the why. Like if she had asked, why should I do this? She may not have gotten the answer because it's about faith and trust, right? Okay, I'm not getting the why, but it's intense that I should be the one to volunteer. So I'm just going to follow the guidance and see where it takes me. Oh, 2 free tickets, and I still get to get home. So let's do a little whole brain posture. I want you to cross one ankle over the other. Trust that you'll pick the appropriate ankle on top. Arms out in front like a zombie. Cross at the wrists. Turn your hands down and interlace your fingers. Hands in your lap or up to your chest, whatever's more comfortable. Absolutely. So when you hear those words coming out of your mouth, it doesn't make sense. Go for it. Go for it. Because that's the definition of intuition. Good morning, Bobby. We are doing a whole brain posture. So if you just want to put yourself into the whole brain posture and just close your eyes. And I want you to just repeat the words silently to yourself. Intuition. 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 You might then feel guided to something else, such as inner voice, sense of knowing, guidance, whatever word works for you. But just making it a mantra for a few moments as you breathe deeply. And then I'd like you to pose the question from the curious observer perspective. Intuition, what is it you would like for me to know? Right here, right now. Tuning in, listening, getting that sense, that inner sense. And when that feels complete for you, you can uncross your feet, undo your hands, and tent your fingers. And just breathe. And when that feels complete, you let it go. Interestingly, one of the things that popped into my head was part of the conversation I had with my friend Andy yesterday. where I just felt this pull to say to him, he was talking about a circumstance in his life. I just felt this pull to say to him, what are you pretending not to know? And he kind of did this thing. And he said, well, what do you mean? And so I just kind of explained that concept of oftentimes, on some level, our heart and soul knows something that our head is not wanting to accept, either because it's going to require us to make a change, or it's daunting to think about, or it doesn't make sense in the literal sense of sense, etc. But man, when we can align with that, when we can acknowledge to ourselves or to someone else, this is what I'm pretending not to know. I already know X about this situation. I know. It's that sense of knowing. I know like I know like I know, as Lisa Nichols would say. And again, so when I asked him that question, he gave me his answer. I asked him what was keeping him from being willing to allow that to be, to stop pretending he didn't know. And it was about what it would then call for him to do. Good morning, Trish. Glad you are here. So here's my thing with that. We can always decide we're not going to listen to our intuition. We can always decide that. It's a conscious choice, right? So we do still have choice, even when we acknowledge what we're pretending not to know, okay? Are we going to be happy with ourselves down the line for ignoring that intuition? Probably not. But it's human. It's kind of what we do. Sometimes we just don't listen, right? So there's our card. Trust your intuition. Trust that still inner voice. And I want to read the Albert Einstein quote again because I think it is just so fantastic. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Let us take part in turning that around, honoring that gift, utilizing that intuitive mind, affording that intuitive mind voice, and see how our lives change. That is your challenge. We'll see what you think. Have an awesome Friday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. And for those of you who would prefer to get these readings via email, just send the word yes to Bonnie@empowermentandpurpose.com. All little letters, all spelled out. Empowermentandpurpose.com. Just send the word yes, and I will add you to my mailing list. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.